Hello everyone, I am going to explain about the topic is hypertension. Hypertension, coming to definition, hypertension is also known as high blood pressure. Why high blood pressure means? Blood pressure means actually in our whole body the blood is circulating with certain force. So that force is called as blood pressure. If this blood pressure is increasing, then this condition called as hypertension. So now I hope you understand now what is hypertension is also known as high blood pressure is a long term medical condition. Why? Because if it occurs to any person, it will lead until his or her death. So because of this, it is a long term medical condition in which the blood pressure in the arteries is persistently elevated. Okay, the blood is circulating all over the body, but in which, that is in arteries. Like if in arteries the blood pressure is high, then this condition called as hypertension. Okay, we know the high blood pressure means the pressure is increased, but there are some values that normal values, then hypertension, how we consider it as hypertension, there are some values are there. So these are the normal average value is blood pressure is 122 and 80 diastolic pressure. Our systolic blood pressure should be 120 and our diastolic blood pressure should be 80 less than or. And coming to pre-hypertension state, okay, we are not we are not having hypertension, but there are, before we are getting hypertension, like our blood pressure will be in 120 to 139 systolic and 80 to 89 in diastolic pressure will be there. And coming to when if occurs, then there are two stages will be there, stage 1 and stage 2. And in that stage 1, our systolic blood pressure will be 140 to 159 range and our diastolic blood pressure will be 90 to 99 mm of Hg. Then coming to stage 2, it is greater than 160 mm of Hg, that is systolic blood pressure, and diastolic is more than 100. If these values are there, according to this we need to identify which stage and which hypertension, whether it is pre-hypertension or normal blood pressure, that. Now coming to this system, this is renin angiotensin aldosterone system. Why? Because I explaining about this because this is very important. We know that blood pressure is increasing, but why this blood pressure is increasing and in which are all conditions this blood pressure is increasing, we don't know properly. So to understand, if you understand this, you can easily find why this blood pressure is increasing. The main two things will be there to cause this blood pressure is vasoconstriction and fluid overload. Vasoconstriction means these are the arteries. Actually this is the normal artery will be like this, normal blood vessel. In this space the blood will circulate to all over, the blood will supply to all over the body from heart. Then coming to this is vasodilation, means vaso in the sense blood vessel, vaso related to blood vessel. So dilation in the sense it's dilated, means that that space is more than normal, so that is dilation. So this is vasodilation, it will shown in hypotension condition. Then coming to hypertension, vasoconstriction. In why vasoconstriction means in this condition the blood flow, actually the normal blood flow will be considered, just example, if our blood flow is 5 liters, consider, just imagine, if the in vasodilation condition there is no resistance, there is no need to put a force over here, that the blood will circulate all over the body normally. But coming to vasoconstriction, here the space is very less, so the pressure should be more, because to circulate, to flow the blood through this, the force should be more, then only the blood can travel through this blood vessel. So because of this vasoconstriction, the blood pressure will increase. So why this blood pressure is increasing? Because of this vasoconstriction. And one more thing, fluid overload. I said fluid overload means if the blood vessel is normal but the fluid in our body is more than 5 liters, like 10 liters, then then that time also it won't sufficient to pump to circulate all this 10 liters to all over the body. So in this condition also, the blood pressure means if more fluid is there than the space, then the pressure will be high only. Yes. So because of these conditions, the blood pressure is increasing. Now why this vasoconstriction is occurs? Because of how it happened. This pathophysiology is like, it's not pathophysiology, that physiology is liver. From liver, this angiotensinogen, one hormone, one enzyme will released by the liver. Then this angiotensin under renin through kidney juxtaglomerular cells. In kidney there are cells like juxtaglomerular cells. These cells contain prorenin, and this prorenin will convert renin, and this renin will make angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1. So this is very, please remember. And now this renin is converting angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1. And now after, from lungs, there is a angiotensin converting enzyme. So this enzyme will convert 1 to angiotensin 2. So this is very bad thing, like angiotensin 2, because if now this angiotensin will stimulates this adrenal gland. Over kidney there is a adrenal gland will be there. When it stimulates the aldosterone, I said no, here stimulates adrenal glands, then this adrenal gland secretes aldosterone hormone. This hormone will what it will do means, here this aldosterone in our kidney, nephron will be there. I hope everyone know this nephron. In that loop of Henle, descending ascending thick loop of Henle, there are some parts are there like proximal convoluted tubule, distal convoluted tubule, and collecting duct. What is the normal process of nephron is filtration. First thing is filtration. The blood will come through the arteries to the Bowman's capsule, then glomerular filtration will occur. Then the waste material is passes through the loop of Henle, proximal convoluted tubule to the loop of Henle, then loop of Henle to distal convoluted tubule, then last collecting duct. So what happens in this? Here the waste material is passing through this duct, but when this aldosterone secretes and stimulates, the secretes things will be there now, that waste things, that this body will again reabsorb these things. Means if the collecting duct sodium is there, chloride is there, so what will happen, our body will reabsorb, means absorb, it will absorb the sodium and chloride. What will happen, the sodium and chloride will overload into our body. Then if overload, what will happen, the fluid volume will be more, then the resistance will be more, then again the blood pressure is increasing. So that's why I said there are two conditions, vasoconstriction and fluid overload. So at last what will happen, what leads to is vasoconstriction. So because of fluid overload, or sometimes other than fluid overload, vasoconstriction can also happen when sympathetic nervous system when sympathetic nervous system, norepinephrine will be there. Okay, the sympathetic nervous system will produce norepinephrine, and this will makes the blood vessels to smaller. That time also this vasoconstriction will occur. So I hope you understand now this renin, angiotensin, aldosterone system. So this can leads to our blood pressure, means hypertension.